Chosen one, listen closely. That sudden surge of desire, that restless craving that seems to come from nowhere, it isn't random. It isn't just human nature. It's a weapon, a carefully timed spiritual attack. Because you are not ordinary, you are marked. You carry light, and light attracts war. The moment you began to walk in purpose, to seek purity, to grow in faith, hell noticed. The enemy doesn't attack what he already owns. He attacks what threatens his darkness. That's why those temptations come strongest when you're closest to breakthrough. That's why your flesh suddenly burns when your spirit is rising. You see, this battle is not about your body, it's about your destiny. The enemy knows that if he can contaminate your spirit, he can silence your power. If he can keep your eyes bound by lust, he can keep your mind blinded to purpose. But hear me, chosen one, you are not powerless. You are created with authority over every unclean spirit, every whisper of temptation, every thought that tries to drag you down. You were born to stand where others fall, to resist where others give in. That's why the attack feels personal, because it is. Hell sees the anointing you carry. The devil knows that your purity is not weakness. It's your weapon. He knows that every time you choose self-control over compromise, your spirit grows sharper, your discernment grows clearer, and your fire burns brighter. So when temptation comes, don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ibrahim asks, "What is heaven preparing me for that hell is so afraid of?" The temptation isn't proof of your failure. It's evidence of your calling. You are being tested because you're valuable. You are being targeted because you're dangerous to darkness. Close your eyes and remember this. You were chosen for more than pleasure. You were chosen for purpose. Every time you resist that pull, every time you turn away and pray instead, heaven takes notice. Angels stand beside you. The chains of past addiction weaken. Your soul becomes cleaner, stronger, freer. The enemy wants to convince you that desire rules you. But the Spirit of God within you is stronger than your flesh. You are not driven by impulse. You are guided by destiny. This isn't about denial. It's about power. It's about saying, "I will not give my energy to what drains my soul. I will not trade my peace for a moment of pleasure. I will not let temporary satisfaction steal eternal purpose." You must guard your purity like a crown. Guard your eyes, your thoughts, your heart, because what you allow to enter your spirit determines the strength of your anointing. Chosen one, this is not the season to fall. It's the season to rise. Rise above lust, rise above guilt, rise above shame. Your freedom begins with awareness, and your victory begins with resistance. That desire that tries to consume you, turn it into prayer. Transform that fire into worship. Use the same passion the enemy tries to corrupt to fuel your hunger for God. Because when you master your desire, you master your destiny. When you silence the flesh, you awaken the spirit. And when you walk in purity, your very presence becomes warfare. The enemy fears a focused believer. He fears a mind that refuses distraction. He fears a heart set apart. So tonight, remind your flesh who you are. You are not weak. You are not trapped. You are chosen. And your power is not found in giving in. It's found in standing firm. Let heaven hear your choice. Let hell see your strength, because every time you overcome that attack, the light within you grows and darkness loses ground. You are a warrior. You are a temple. You are the chosen one. Walk in power. Walk in purity. Walk in purpose, because your victory is not just for you. It's for everyone your life will set free. There are moments in life when the pull of desire feels overwhelming, almost uncontrollable, and it seems like a simple human impulse. But there is a deeper layer to it that many fail to see. Not every desire is born of nature. Some are planted by spiritual forces that seek to distract and drain the soul. The enemy often disguises temptation as pleasure, using it to divert the chosen ones from their divine path. When the mind is clouded by lust, clarity fades and purpose is forgotten. This is why recognizing the spiritual nature of desire is so important. It is not about shame or suppression, but awareness. The chosen must learn to guard their energy, for every thought and emotion carries spiritual weight. When you feel sudden waves of craving or unrest that do not align with peace, that is not you. It is an attack on your destiny. Understanding this gives you authority to stand firm, to pray and to redirect that energy into your purpose. Awareness becomes armor, and wisdom becomes strength. Once you see the unseen battle, you begin to win it. Because the light of discernment always exposes the darkness trying to control you. The power to overcome temptation lies within through spiritual awareness and self-control. Every believer carries the Spirit of God, which empowers them to rise above impulses that seek to destroy peace and purpose. The goal is not to suppress desire, but to transform it into spiritual strength. When prayer replaces lustful thoughts, when focus replaces distraction, the soul begins to regain control. This power grows through discipline, fasting, meditation, and keeping the mind anchored in truth. Victory comes when you realize you are not a slave to desire, but a master of your own spirit. Temptation is not proof of weakness, but evidence of purpose. The stronger your calling, the greater the attacks designed to derail it. Every time you resist, you strengthen your spiritual muscles and rise to a higher level of clarity and power. What was meant to destroy you becomes the very fire that refines you. Purity is not about deprivation. It is preparation for the greatness ahead. When you overcome temptation, you reclaim control over your destiny and become a vessel that carries divine authority. Each victory in secret becomes a public testimony of spiritual triumph. In the end, the battle against temptation is not just about resisting desire, but about reclaiming divine purpose. Every struggle reveals an invitation to grow closer to God and discover the strength hidden within. When you learn to see temptation for what it truly is, a spiritual test rather than a personal flaw, you begin to walk in awareness and authority. The chosen do not fall because they are tempted. They rise because they recognize the source of the attack and use it to fuel their transformation. Purity becomes a path of empowerment, not restraint, and every victory builds spiritual confidence through prayer, focus, and faith. You transform what once sought to weaken you into a reminder of your divine calling. This is the mark of the chosen, to turn battles into breakthroughs and to let every test reveal the unstoppable power of purpose within.